So in 2004, by a 3-to-1 margin, Arkansas voted to ban gay marriage and to make that a constitutional amendment. May 9th, last Friday, County Circuit Judge Chris Piazza ruled that ban unconstitutional. Now, his ruling did not specifically strike down a state law, which placed prohibitions on county clerks from issuing same-sex marriages. And so roughly 5 counties began issuing licenses. On Monday, May 12th, as a Monday of this week, former Governor Mike Huckabee called for Piazza to be impeached, and there's outrage and backlash. By Wednesday, May 14th, 1 day ago, 456 gay couples in Arkansas had received permission to marry, but only Washington and Pulaski counties were still issuing licenses due to the possible discrepancy in Piazza's ruling. The Arkansas Supreme State Court refused to issue a stay on the ruling, and today Piazza corrected what he called a clerical error and also struck down the ban on clerks issuing licenses. So as of today, the floodgates are open. At least some of these counties are going to start issuing the certificates again. Although there may be a timeline on that. We'll let Becca get into that. She knows more than we do. So starting tomorrow, the licenses should be expected to resume. One of the little twists here is that the state attorney general, the person who is charged to represent the state and the laws on the books and fight this, is pro-gay marriage personally, but because of the duties of his office, has started an appeal to the decision. So he's got that's Attorney General Dustin McDaniel. Becca, what's going on? You're out there on the front lines. What does this look like?
Mostly right now.
Start off by telling us who you are, what you're with, who you're with, and kind of what you do. I should have really given a better backstory there. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Absolutely. So basically, when this went through Friday at 5 o'clock, Eureka Springs in Carroll County, which was actually not one of the 6 counties named in the lawsuit, but Eureka Springs, it has a pretty liberal history. They made the decision to go ahead and start issuing marriage licenses that Saturday. If you were following the news, there was a lot of stuff about clerks not coming in, and another clerk having to come in to issue licenses, a lot of anxiety, people being turned away, mixed-sex couples being given preference over same-sex couples when they first got there. But ultimately, they went ahead and started issuing licenses, and the woman who performed the first same-sex union in Arkansas began being referred to in media as the woman in the rainbow dress. A woman in a rainbow dress officiated the ceremony. Marriages were officiated by the woman in the rainbow dress. From that, come Monday morning, she and her good friend, and then just some of us in the community, they showed up at Washington County Courthouse. I was frantically Facebooking them saying, what can I do, how can I help? And honestly, Monday, everybody thought we'd be shut down again. We assumed there'd be an emergency stay put in, we'd be shut down. So at 1 o'clock, I finally get a message that says, well, we've run out of coffee. And from there, and with all of the officiants that we were keeping on call to make sure there were people there to get people married, with trying to hand out flowers, trying to make sure that people had some kind of a wedding, their wedding day, Team Rainbow Dress was formed. And since then, it started out as a hashtag just to help people find pictures of their wedding day and information about what was going on. It since has turned into a Facebook page. Laura and Michelle, the 2 women who sort of head Team Rainbow Dress, are both members of the Northwest Arkansas Center for Equality, who run Pride Month, which is starting in June, which is just great timing for us. They are just a really important center for the community in Northwest Arkansas. So they're affiliated with the Northwest Arkansas Center for Equality. I refer to myself as sort of just a mercenary volunteer, like I'm out for hire, metaphorically, of course. So I've just been up there, we've all been up there trying to, 1, make sure that people have an officiant there to get them married. Because, of course, a lot of these couples didn't think this was going to be a possibility. And I think even for couples who have gone about marriage the traditional route. Like, you don't really know how the whole marriage license thing works until you're there going through it. So making sure there's someone there to sign it so that they can get it filed. And then also just doing things like having pastries and coffee. We've had a lot of couples who said they left X City at 2 in the morning to try to get there first thing in the morning. Flowers and then pictures. People come and they have no way to get pictures of their own wedding day. So that's been our mission here in Fayetteville.
Awesome. So I know part of this, and this is equally as convoluted as well. Yeah, we're not going to get into all of it, but birth certificates are now, like, a lot of parents of gay couples have been able to get both partners' name on the children's birth certificate. Is that something that you help do, or is that something that takes place somewhere else?
No, we are not, partly just because of the sort of slapdash nature of it, right? We aren't equipped to deal with a lot of the legal side of it. What we are pushing couples to do, particularly if they're out of state, is get straight to the Social Security office just as soon as they leave. Because when we have a day like today, where things are suspended for a whole day, it doesn't only affect what's going on at the Washington County Courthouse, it affects how other people think they're supposed to be doing their job. So theoretically, once you get things going on a federal level, it does make things easier, but we know particularly a lot of our couples from out of state are going home to some really big challenges. We try to connect them with resources that might be able to answer some of those legal questions, but we're there more to just facilitate this day and try to make it, well, it's going to be memorable, but try to make it something that you didn't have to run and go to.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, the other big news that's come out of this is the University of Arkansas system, including the University of Arkansas Medical Sciences, which is a big hospital in Little Rock that employs a ton of people. They're now allowing, as a result of this, they're allowing gay spouses to be listed on insurance plans. So a lot of the basic human rights that we kind of got into this with in the interview with Rance, like, regardless of where you come down, whether it's for religious beliefs or cultural beliefs, about what you think about, gay people doing what gay people do. What you absolutely can't be against is them, like, getting the same tax breaks and the people they love not dying because they couldn't get insurance, stuff like that. So the things that I feel really are the role of the state, the basic human rights. The doors are finally opening, even in places like Arkansas that are not traditionally seen as, bastions of civil rights for gay people. So there's a lot of really encouraging news. However, not to throw a cold rag on that, you have some possible insight here because of your proximity to this, that the tide or the era of good feelings might be over here in a few days. Is that true?
Our concern isn't so much that things might. So a further motion for stay has already been filed, but the plaintiffs have been given, our side, has been given until noon Monday. And that's actually, as frustrating as it's have to do this dance, the fact that we're doing it at all today in Arkansas is amazing. And a lot of the conversations that we've had, in and amongst our team, and then also with the couples coming in. And if you told me last week this is where I was going to be, I would have said you were crazy. So although it is true that there's still the potential for restrictions to go into place next week, tomorrow we're acting as though we are working against the potential of an emergency today. That's just our protocol. Because we want people to get these rights. Exactly like you're talking about.
Just kind of a sense of urgency in general.
Yes, and that's one of the things that's been a little frustrating but still important is people who they have a friend that they want to do the ceremony, or they've got a wedding day planned, having to tell these people, you're right, you should have 60 days, but you don't. We need to get you filed right now and do the ceremony, do the big important emotional stuff exactly the way you want to have your big day, but let's get the stuff that the state requires done now. So that's been unfortunate but necessary. However, what we're optimistic about is this. By giving us the rest of the day tomorrow, and by giving us through, theoretically, if an emergency stay is issued, we should have until at least noon Monday before any more decisions come down the line. And that's barring all sorts of other legalese that could happen. But that's what we're hoping for. And as you pointed out, we already have over 400 marriage licenses filed, not just issued, but already filed on the books, same-sex unions in Arkansas. So it's just sort of moving from there. Once those are established, it becomes so much harder to move backwards. And that's what we're really excited about. It may be slow progress forward from here. It may be progress like the last 24 hours that has been a complete emotional roller coaster for all of us. But it's very, very hard to go backwards on this path too far.